$64 billion. That's what someone just offered to buy Universal Music Group, the company that owns the rights to Taylor Swift's old albums, Drake's entire catalog, and half the songs you've heard in the last decade. To put that number in perspective, that's more than the GDP of Luxembourg, Croatia, and Uruguay combined. It's bigger than the market cap of Netflix. It's enough money to buy every single Major League Baseball team twice over. And here's what makes this absolutely wild. This isn't even the most expensive entertainment deal we've seen this year. The bidder is a consortium led by billionaire Patrick Drahi, the same guy who owns auction house Sotheby's and telecom giant Altis. Universal's current owner, Vivendi, hasn't accepted the offer yet, but the fact that someone throws around this kind of money for a music company tells us something massive is happening in how we value intellectual property. Universal isn't just any music company, they control roughly 1/3 of the global recorded music market. When you stream a song on Spotify, there's a 33% chance Universal gets a cut. When a movie uses a popular song in a soundtrack, Universal probably owns it. When an artist goes viral on TikTok, Universal likely holds the publishing rights. But here's where mainstream coverage gets it wrong. Everyone's talking about this as a media deal, as if someone just bought a bigger Netflix. That's missing the point entirely. Universal is becoming the Monsanto of music. They're not buying songs. They're buying the genetic code of human emotional expression. Just like Monsanto controls agricultural genetics through seed patents, Universal controls cultural genetics through melody patents. Farmers can't replant patented seeds without paying Monsanto. Soon, artists won't use chord progressions without licensing fees to Universal. The trajectory here is staggering when you map it out. In 2019, Universal held a valuation of around 30 billion euros. By 2021, when they went public, that number jumped to 35 billion euros. 2 years later, we're looking at a $64 billion bid, roughly 60 billion euros. The company has nearly doubled in value in 4 years. But the really interesting data point is revenue per stream. In 2015, Universal made about €6 per stream on Spotify. Today, they make 0.03 cents per stream. But the volume exploded from 500 billion streams to over 4 trillion streams annually. They make more money despite earning less per play because the entire pie expanded beyond anyone's predictions. The music industry went through what economists call a J-curve recovery after the digital collapse. CD sales peaked at 943 million units in 2000, then cratered to 31 million by 2020. Everyone thought music was dying. Instead, streaming created a market bigger than physical media ever was. Universal's streaming revenue alone now exceeds what the entire industry made from CDs at their peak. The company that piracy and digital distribution supposedly killed became the biggest winner of the digital transformation. Looking forward, this $64 billion valuation makes sense only if you believe 3 things will happen. First, that global streaming will hit 10 trillion plays annually by 2030. That's 2.5 times current levels. Second, that Universal will successfully monetize their catalog through AI training data licensing. Every AI company building music generation tools needs training data, and Universal owns the highest quality dataset on Earth. Third, that live events and virtual concerts will explode as the metaverse develops. Universal already has exclusive deals with major venues and positions itself to own the rights when your favorite artist performs as a hologram. The 10-year projection is even more aggressive. If streaming growth continues at current rates, Universal will process 25 trillion plays annually by 2034. But the real money won't come from streaming royalties. It'll come from algorithmic music creation. Universal positions itself to own the rights not just to existing songs, but to AI-generated variations of those songs. Imagine owning not just Bohemian Rhapsody, but every AI-generated song that uses its chord progressions or melody patterns. Every AI-generated track becomes a genetically modified crop, requiring royalty payments to the original patent holder. That's potentially infinite revenue from finite assets. Here's how this directly impacts your daily life, starting immediately. Universal's catalog determines what you hear in every Uber ride, every restaurant, every retail store you enter. If this deal goes through, one person will control the soundtrack of your existence. When you open Spotify tomorrow morning, remember that 1/3 of your Discover Weekly playlist gets curated by algorithms designed to maximize revenue for this single company. Your musical taste isn't as personal as you think. Profit optimization models shape it. More concretely, subscription prices are going up. When a music catalog becomes this valuable, streaming platforms have to pay more for licensing, and they pass those costs to consumers. Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music will all raise prices within 18 months of this deal closing. Your monthly streaming bill will increase not because the technology got more expensive, but because the rights to the songs got more expensive. The bigger question is whether we're comfortable with one entity controlling this much of human cultural expression. Music shapes elections, social movements, and generational identity. When someone owns the rights to the songs that define entire decades, they own a piece of collective memory. This isn't just about entertainment. It's about who controls the emotional infrastructure of society. Universal creates artificial scarcity from naturally abundant resources, melodies, then extracts rent from every reproduction cycle. Does that concentration of power concern you, or do you think market forces will naturally prevent any abuse?